Late round quarterback, Mr. JJ Zachariason, is becoming a best ball bro. He's entering into our den of depravity. Let's see how much he's learned over the last years. We head into a DraftKings Best Ball Million Acre contest. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. All right, Mr. Zachariason, how are you doing on this beautiful summer day as we are about to draft in the NFL Best Ball Million Acre contest on DraftKings?
I'm great, man. I took a share of Derrick Henry earlier today, so I'm feeling spry today.
At 12 on DraftKings.bestball.com. That's crazy.
I got him, I think, at 16 or 17, and I was able to, like, I'm trying to get at least some exposure, and I was able to snap him there. Have you had a hard time getting him with, like, freaking Nico Collins is right there and it's a full PPR site?
I can't take him on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know what's funny is actually I think the place I am most likely to get him. This is how far fantasy football has come around in a circle. Literally my home leagues, because my home leagues, everyone is a slappy. Everyone has, they get the late round draft guide. They subscribe to Establish the Run. These guys are full slappies. So they don't want running back. So I'm like, sure, yeah, I might pick 19 overall Derrick Henry.
It still scares me a bit to, like, be underweight on him, because we know the weekly ceiling is there still, even in full PPR. Like, it still exists for Henry.
Sam Sherman had a great tweet earlier who he said, me, a guy who makes his whole personality about only drafting upside in fantasy football, but I never take Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry. And I had to take a second and really internalize that. And I was like, I've been shot. I've been hoisted by my own petard, because nothing could define me more.
I think that I need to be, like, because, like, I know that every best ball bro, like, especially on DK, just, like, hates Derrick Henry. But I think I want to be heavier than the best ball bro on Henry. It was I've done, I think, 62 millis. Yeah, we can go.
This might be my 50th. So we are up. We are going to be drafting pick 3 in this draft, and boy, does it feel like a gift to be able to take the actual best wide receiver in fantasy football at pick 3.
Do you have it? Do you think that he like in a vacuum? Are you taking Jefferson over, like, you're not taking him over Jamar Chase, are you?
No. I mean, mostly because I'm a coward and I refuse to take giant stances on play. Right. The only stance I have of players in the first round right now is I have about 15% Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Because the ADP was wrong. But now that the ADP is right, and now that McCaffrey has moved up, I just take the first round players in the order that they go.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. But like, do you genuinely, like, do you not see a difference between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson? Like of course you're gonna take, just based on ADP, if you get 101, you'll take Jamar Chase. I get all that. You're trying to even out exposure. If you had one fantasy league.
No, I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, believe not only is this player takey, but I think, like, the way fantasy distributions go, Jefferson is the best player in fantasy. I truly do believe it. One, and this is, I'd actually be curious your opinion on this. First part being, I think that McCarthy struggling a little bit and a little bit of regression on the Vikings defensive front is, like, actually going to make Jefferson a better asset. He had a bunch of games last year. I mean, Sam Darnold had like, I think 4 games with fewer than 30 dropbacks. Like, they just had some game. It's kind of the Lions thing to some degree, where, like, sure, Jameson Williams only had, 91 targets last year.
Yeah.
But some of that is going to naturally take care of itself by the offense actually running more plays. And Jefferson is obviously awesome, or Chase is obviously awesome, but there is kind of an element to, he is more likely to drop a 3 for 18. Jefferson or Chase was the number 1 player in fantasy last year, scored, I think, 90 more points than Chase did, but only had 4 100-yard games, which is just kind of an interesting way to think about his weekly range of outcomes.
My only hesitation with Jefferson is I think that we're making a lot of assumptions. And look, I have him in the same spot as you. I have him over Saquon on DK. Like, he's my 102 on DK. But my fear is that we're putting a little bit too much faith in JJ McCarthy. Like I still think that I understand that KOC system, what we've seen over the last 3 years, super pass friendly. A lot of their touchdowns lean because of that lean pass versus rush. We've seen that. Like that's a number that typically regresses, but it doesn't really regress in this offense. It hasn't so far. But it still scares me that we know for a fact Joe Burrow is elite. We know for a fact that Dak Prescott can sustain CeeDee Lamb. And that's what scares me a little bit, is that there is the quarterback question for him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I've done a lot of hand waving, like, does anyone really think Sam Darnold is good? But like, Sam Darnold is at least a great thrower. He is like not great processing. We don't have evidence that JJ McCarthy is as good of a thrower as Sam Darnold is.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Like I'm not like I'm worried sick about Sam Darnold this year, right? But we saw what we saw last year with Sam Darnold, and it happened, and it is factually what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll stop.
I think I'm good. I'm good with Bucky, McBride, or T here.
Let's go
Tyreek.
Bucky. Let's go Bucky, because McBride sometimes will hook around.
Yeah. How do you? What is your experience like with the absolute chaos of DraftKings rooms? Like,
I love it.
Do you just let it flow off your back? Yeah, I kind of love it.
Because it's like, to me, I've grown as a best ball bro as I've become one. You know, last year when I was doing when I was max entering for the first time, I would tilt all the time.
You tilt so hard, yeah.
Right? When a stack got sniped or what have you. I think there's a lot of entitlement in the best ball space.
Oh, there's so, I mean,
right?
Disgusting. McBride,
or let's go
Diontae
McBride.
Adams.
Yeah, that's a good.
You're so right. There is no one more entitled than best ball bros. You know what they remind me of? They remind me of poker players who just make it everyone else's problem when they get like a bad beat or something.
Yeah, and like to me, like, look, I get tilting whenever like you get Puka and Devontae Adams and someone takes Matthew Stafford in round 9, right? Like that's a tilting experience. What I don't believe in or like don't think is worth tilting over is if you're pushing Joe Burrow. First off, you can't push him on DK. He's not getting past the mid 5th at the very, very latest. Like, he's not going to come back to you. I know that he has at times on Underdog. You see screenshots and stuff, but like the people who draft the Bengals, Cardinals, you know, they get Jamar Chase, Trey McBride, T Higgins, and they pass on Burrow because they want to push it. They feel entitled to Burrow at the end of the 5th or at the end of the 6th round because they're the ones with the stack. It's insane. You can only tilt when it's a player that is actually being drafted well ahead of ADP for absolutely no reason. That's the only time that you can really tilt. It's
the Burrow thing that is really funny. Just like people they just lose their minds. They're like,
yeah,
what? And also the people on the other side who are like, I take Burrow to protect the integrity of the contest. Yeah. Like, bro, please, I'm begging you, go outside. Take your socks off, you know, put your feet on the ground. Just, I'm begging you, dude. I need you to touch the grass.
Yeah.
McBride in the 3rd is on full PPR with bonuses. I mean, I think there's an argument, honestly, that both Bowers and McBride are like underpriced by 4 or 5 picks each.
I've got McBride. I think I'm at 20% McBride right now, and I don't feel as comfortable with it just because it's a lot for an early round pick, maybe 18%. But I just the way the opportunity cost is so much different for Trey McBride than Brock Bowers, even though there is that like
it's massive, the opportunity cost.
Yeah. Because you're getting like even AJ Brown, like I think AJ Brown is like it's really weird. Like you can make it a solid argument for AJ Brown very, very easily and still be underweight on him because there's so many good wide receivers in that range, right? Like the Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Nico, Drake London. When one of them fall, you feel good about them, great about them, and then you know Brock Bowers in the mix. You're taking Brock Bowers generally over one of those this draft, and he's been falling a little bit. And he's finally getting into that pocket where like, okay, I'll feel okay drafting him over like a Lad or something like that. That's okay, right? But when it's like over a AJ Brown type or Brian Thomas or something like that, it's a little bit more difficult. But with Trey McBride, you're getting into like Marvin Harrison Jr. range, where that is a totally different range of outcomes compared to the other wide receivers in that early second round.
Joe Burrow over Jaden Daniels.
This is why DK is so fun though.
It's the best. I love
For no reason. They're taking
Yeah.
Joe Burrow there. And like that in this instance, I think if you were the Chase T, like the 101 went Chase and T, that's frustrating. Like that's a frustrating.
It's frustrating, but I also just think that you're the dummy if you are entering into DraftKings rooms being like, and everyone's going to stay in their lane. And it's all going to make sense.
I agree with that. But I'm saying though, like I can brush it off. All right, who we got? We're on the clock. I can brush that thing off at this point.
More is the ADP value and my ranking. I don't really care though.
I don't really
just
either.
Any wide receiver.
Yeah, I'd take whatever wide receiver you want.
Let's do more.
Some things that I do, and I wouldn't in this build necessarily because we got McBride. We already took the onesie. And Jalen Hurts already went. But I like if Hurts and Devontae are together, this is the exact spot where you get Devontae, and then you hope that the 101 and 102 are sharp with stacking, and then you can get Hurts in the fifth.
Yeah. No, I think that is nice. Something I like about the Bears specifically on DraftKings is Caleb is cheaper than he should be by about, I think he's 105 ADP, so he's about 10 spots too cheap. But then apparently no one wants Colston Loveland or Luka Burden. It's
you can get both of them really cheap. And the nice part, I talked about this on my stream earlier today, actually. You can the Bears and 49ers are nice on DK because you literally have a choice at one of them almost every single round. Like you can get
that's so big, yeah.
Yeah, because there's all like it's just evened out so nicely when you're basically when you're not at the extreme ends of drafts.
Yeah, it's just huge. When the quarterbacks are going to go a little bit willy-nilly, just retaining as much optionality as possible.
Right.
Like if you get sniped, you've always got a way out of it. And like we've got McCarthy, we've got Kyler, and we've got Caleb all live right now, which is nice. I'm a huge Kamara bro on DraftKings, but I like Tet too, or Devonta. Really,
I'd go any of the top three here. Whatever build you want. My only hesitation with Kamara with this build would be that we only have two wide receivers.
We're going to get, you're right. We're going to get behind. That's Tet, honestly, there. It's so funny. I've become a Kamara bro. But Tet right there was actually, the rookie wide receiver was actually eating the vegetables right there. How does Tet look in your stuff now in the Zap model and in the draft guide after, accounting for the offense that he landed in? Because I haven't done a show with you since the draft.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, the Zap model doesn't account for situation
because you just project the draft capital.
I just look at I just project draft capital beforehand, and then he got I think around maybe a little bit higher than what was projected for, but he's in a category that elite wide receivers and elite producers are in. Travis Hunter technically was ranked ahead because of draft capital at the end of the day, but I think all of us are a little bit like, what's going on in Jacksonville right now with Travis Hunter?
I'm not actually. I am firmly on everyone is losing their minds. He's going to play wide receiver. He's going to be really good at wide receiver. My operational philosophy on that is Liam Cohen is the head coach. He's the one who makes the decisions. He's an offensive guy. He's an offensive coordinator. He's going to watch Travis Hunter play. I don't know the name of the Jaguars defensive coordinator, and he's going to go over to him and he's going to say, "Hey, sorry, bud. He's gonna come practice."
Look, I think that like I'm still fine if you want to draft him. I always compare my season long rankings to the ADP market, not in best ball, but just in general because I need to do it for the draft guide. And Travis Hunter is still like a low end wide receiver 3, and like that's where he's likely gonna go in a lot of like season long leagues, probably even later in home leagues and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like in general, I think that the confidence that we have in Tet, given that it was sort of a coin flip to begin with, I think it's okay at this point, just right now today, to be like, yeah, I'd prefer Tet and I'd just go that direction because he is a really, really good prospect. I don't think he's on the Drake London levels. I mean, we've talked about that. Like, I'm not I don't think he's quite as good of a prospect as Drake London was because he's
No,
content
and he's in a way shakier spot. Like Bryce Young could just like pretty easily be giga horrible again. Would just
he might. I'm in though on Bryce in Carolina this year.
I like his price. I like Canales. Right. I like all that stuff. But
yeah, that's an outcome, of course.
Let's just be real. Like this is a man who got benched. By the way, if Travis Hunter is going after Jerry Jeudy in my DraftKings rooms,
yeah,
I'm really trimming back my exposures on guys this year. But I really might be close to like 35% if that's the price.
Where are you at with Jeudy? Because I feel like I'm on an island and I've pretty much faded him this
why? What is the point of taking like a floor guy in best ball who is unstackable? He kills your optionality,
right?
And the guys around him have really similar ranges of outcomes, and you can take their quarterback, and they don't play the Steelers in week 17.
There's I got to pull up my draft guy because I wrote him up as an avoid. Jeudy, oh, we're on the clock. Who are we looking at?
This is going to be a little bit of an interesting spot because Olave is definitely the best pick, but we kind of need a wide receiver or a running back. We could take.
I think you go Olave and you go with a hero build.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, Olave is such a best ball.
The thing that I found with DK is that you can you getting Bucky, since we have Bucky, we're not going to draft like a Rashad White or something like that. But like Rashad White is like, I don't even think he's like that amazing of a player. He's just so undervalued on the platform, given the full PPR aspect of it and price point and contingent upside, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're going to be stuck at like, if you want to go running back, you could go running back here. But like the way I've been drafting is
we could go Pearsall actually or Godwin.
Sure. I would go Godwin or Pearsall. I mean, if you're building the portfolio, I'd probably just play the ADP game and get Godwin. But yeah, Pearsall is fine. Because now you have even more outs with
Pearsall. So Pearsall is just a game stack guy for us because we're gonna try and do that. And I also prefer Purdy cost adjusted quite a bit to Baker. Actually, give me your Pearsall thesis.
I think Pearsall was a solid prospect. And I actually think, because like it's funny, when he came out, I thought that he was more of like a Debo than an Ayuk, if you will. Because if you look at what he did at Florida, a lot of that's just in college in general. He he was like one of those like versatile, like not gadgety, but like was able to take end arounds and see work behind the line of scrimmage and at the line. And one of the analytical comps in my model was Jaden Reed for Pearsall. Both good route runners. I think he's solid. I'm on team Jawan Jennings this year. I've drafted more Jawan than Pearsall, but I'm drafting both of them. I'm drafting both of them because I love the 49ers offense. Like I built a model to project to forecast touchdowns per game. It's based on like PFF offensive line rating and quarterback. It's got some really funky inputs, and it takes it tries to project touchdowns per game for these teams, and it correlates to next season touchdown success like twice as well as previous season touchdowns per game. So the one team that saw the biggest improvement in touchdowns per game within that model was San Francisco. So I'm pretty bullish on what's going on there. It sucks that George Kittle's ADP has risen. But again, like Kittle's someone who now is still in a range where the opportunity cost isn't that insane, but like where he went in this draft, like I'd take Breece Hall over him, no question. But like he's in like the no man's land range, so you can still get him. But if he goes even up anymore, it's gonna be more.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to take a tight end that I think is gonna like, because the thing about Kittle is he's awesome and he's efficient. But he is like, what is he going to max out at? 4.5 receptions per game? Like that would be like his path is scoring like 14 touchdowns, which is like, I mean, obviously you'd love to take a tight end who scored a bunch of touchdowns, but like McBride, what's funny is McBride could outscore George Kittle in a season where Kittle scores 11 touchdowns and McBride runs back 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, like McBride's a better pick straight up. Yeah. I think that's why there's the gap that we see between the two. And again, this is not about like, I think McBride is one of the best values from like a tight end perspective. Like he's one of my highest roster tight ends. But I don't think Kittle is in that terrible of a spot when you're getting him usually more mid fourth. But when he was like in the fifth, like a month or two ago, it's a lot easier to click that. That's where I got a lot more of my exposure with Kittle. I think Kittle though is still fine to target, like season long. I think he's a target. I'm cool with any of the big three tight ends. Part of it is that I think the next three tight ends are overvalued.
I agree with that as well. I think there is a larger gap in projection than in ADP. All right, we got this is some Brock Purdy at 86 to the Jennings team, who already has Josh Allen. I honestly, I think we keep it going. I think,
we do.
And obviously, if Baker would have been here, I would have taken Godwin. Then I think. What do you want to do?
I think we push Kyler, or we can get because we have an out with Caleb too, right? What are the? Oh God, this is.
There's there was no running backs. I took Michael Pittman Jr. I panicked. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. I just straight. There's no running backs in the queue.
Wait, let me see the board. It's weird that. Yeah, I mean, but look, we'll be fine at running back.
I thought Igbuka was gonna be there, and I didn't realize that he had gotten picked the one pick before.
Yeah, if we would have gotten Godwin, that person probably wouldn't have gotten Igbuka. Did the 102 does the 102 have a Buccaneer? Probably not, right? Because they don't have Godwin or Igbuka, and Evans goes on the other side of the board.
But he took Mayfield
with Tyreek
correlated. Oh, there you go with Tyreek.
Do we go Kyler here?
I think with the Bear. Well,
Caleb or I say Caleb or Kyler. Kyler's the ADP value, obviously, but whatever you would feel more comfortable with.
I think let's do Caleb because we'll also be able to add on a backstack for him if we want. And Kyler's backstack is Michael Wilson.
Those are the positions where it just sucks because you're not getting the squeezing out infinite value with the pick.
Yes. Yeah. That was just consecutively really bad decisions by me. Bad decision to pass on Godwin because I thought there was no chance Baker was going to be there. And probably honestly should have just taken the medicine and taken Jalen Warren there, frankly. Michael Pittman. I guess we can take Daniel
Warren
Jones
falls
on this team.
Warren falls in these. Like I have a ton of Warren. He just falls on DK at often. I think that you could prefer Warren to realistically, if you wanted to Caleb Johnson straight up.
I mean, this range of running backs is the most fake value. Like these running backs suck. These running backs, after I'll give Mason a fair amount of projected points, but Sharps, ETN, Spears, Najee, who knows?
Yeah, I've faded Najee all offseason. Obviously that has nothing to do with the eye injury, but yeah, to me, I've been getting Dobbins because I think he has projectable output, especially Dobbins is obviously really strong. Yeah, I part of that too is if you need that, or if you're going to go kind of rookie running back heavy and you need some of that early season production, I think Dobbins can get you some of that. And then I've gotten a little bit more Spears recently than I had to start the offseason, especially in a full PPR format. I still think they wanted to use Spears more than they did last year. No, they definitely did. That's so obviously true because they were even using what's his name, Julius Chestnut when Spears was out. And Pollard had this, it's funny. Spears actually ran really bad because Pollard had this horrible knee injury that he couldn't even, or ankle injury. He couldn't even practice. Yeah, but then he would play. But then he would play because Spears couldn't play because Spears had was Spears a concussion? Yeah, he had the concussion issues. But then Spears had I think the concussion towards the end of the year. He was a playoff league winner up until that. Smashed. I remember he was on one of my finals teams, and I remember being like, yeah. I drafted a ton of Tajay Spears last year. I didn't even really love him as a prospect, but I think that for purposes of what a full PPR platform is and compiling a running back room on here when you have an anchor like Bucky, it's not as difficult. It's not that difficult. You can just go with a 7 RB build if you want to instead of 6 and get the upside in a Bashaw Tootin and then pair it with a Justice Hill late who's going to have some viability some weeks. It's not as difficult, like Rico Dowdle types and stuff, and like Rashad White. Like I said, I just throw that together a lot. Those guys are actually some of my highest rostered players because if I do get in a pinch, it's easier to fall back on them than some of the wide receivers in that range.
Couldn't agree more. Man, Spears, who I maybe would have considered with the last pick, is him or Sharbs. Scadaboo's here. I think we do Tajay Spears here.
Yeah, I'm down with Spears. It's a good floor.
All right. So we are at Caleb Williams, Bucky Irving, Tajay Spears, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Tet McMillan, Trey McBride, Chris Olave, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman Jr. 1, 2, 6, 1.
This is where you and on DK you have to probably force QB.
I think we just take McCarthy.
Right.
Yeah. So in the famous words of Peter Overzet, speak on that.
Yeah. I mean, look, the thing that's really interesting with quarterback value on DK is the tier of like McCarthy was going, I think like 2 rounds later, like a month or two ago, like a month and a half ago. Right. And like Drake May was so easy to click. He's still pretty easy to click, but was so easy to click. CJ Stroud goes in the 10th in this draft, right? Justin Herbert still going like in the 10th or what have you. That's
Trevor Lawrence at 110.
Right. That's not that far away at all in ADP from the really stable, like, I mean, rushers and Justin Fields or a Kyler, right? Like it's not. And when that gets truncated, like when you go from a 4-round, 5-round gap between some of those like random pocket passers, like a CJ Stroud or, a T-Law or whomever, to a 1 or 2 round delta between those guys, that makes the tier above them more valuable, right? So like
absolutely.
So like the Justin Fields and Kyler Murrays and Brock Purdy's and Dak Prescott's of the world are now better values because Michael Penix is going 2 rounds after them instead of 5 rounds after them.
It makes like the so like not only is like Knicks, Mayfield, Caleb Williams, Dak like some of the biggest wins, but it also I'm not like in love with elite quarterbacks, but it makes like Lamar Jackson like way more palatable.
Yes, it makes it makes all of them a lot easier to draft, and that was something that I talked to Neil Orfield about that about a month ago on Becoming a Best Ball Bro, and like there's for some reason though the one player, the guy, and he fell in this draft too compared to the other guys, is Jordan Love. He's the one that keeps like slipping for some reason. It's really bizarre to me because it's one of the players that you can pretty easily stack later. You know, you don't need a top 5 round pass catcher for Green Bay to stack them. And so like
Dontavian Wicks goes undrafted on DraftKings sometimes.
Yeah, I mean you can get your boy Wicks. But even like I know that it's ugly, but like I've gotten a lot of Romeo Doubs on DraftKings because he's so cheap.
You would be such a Romeo Doubs drafter.
Dude, he had a 21% target share per game rate last year. He's going to see the field in 2 wide receiver sets. Christian Watson's not going to be back until November at the earliest. Like
I saw someone draft Christian Watson in a real life, real money draft.
Yeah, that's
recently.
That's too much. But like he just goes too late given the circumstances. And it's a really easy, like Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft. You see that double tap in this draft. That's a pretty easy and frequent thing that I've been trying to do too.
Oh, I think we just absolutely podium run for Isaac Guerendo or Bashal Tootin here.
Yeah, I would say, Guerendo fits the build.
But
I think Tootin has more of that, like we need like body, like we just need production, not injury focused production.
No, we need someone who's like actually drawing live to have some projectable points week 1.
Right. We might even get Guerendo in the next round.
Well, I was going to say we might easily get Guerendo, but Tootin was more important for the build. I know you're probably not a Jaydon Blue guy, but I would have.
Oh, I'm a huge Jaydon Blue guy.
Oh God, that is music to my. And we got him anyway.
We
got Guerendo anyway.
The Zap model loves Jaydon Blue.
All right. I can't find any other members of the fantasy football intelligentsia willing to do this ride with me on Jaydon Blue. I think Jaydon Blue is so obvious as a sleeper that I can't believe people are pushing back on it.
It's kind of weird too because of the spot. Like usually this is like literally anyone going to a high upside offense in a decent environment with no competition people would be into. I think that like the way I see Blue, number one, in the Zap model, he had a really, really good age adjusted receiving profile, which is basically the main thing that the Zap model looks at running back. If you want to think of running back prospecting in like 3 really easy buckets, it's pass catching, speed, weight adjusted speed, and what would the third thing? I mean, draft capital is there. There was a third thing that I was thinking about, but
I would assume ambiguity of the backfield, like entrenchment.
No, I'm thinking more just as from like a prospecting standpoint. You really want size, speed, and
I would assume a blue chip program would be really good.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. At least the 2 things you want pass catching, and you want a good speed score, right? And you get that with Jaydon Blue. He had really good age adjusted production. Of course, he didn't see that much work on the ground whenever he's playing with 3 legitimate NFL players.
This is, I mean, the lore on Jaydon Blue, and you don't watch college football, really.
I don't know. I don't know the storylines the way that you would. Yeah.
So like we would never know who this guy was, but CJ Baxter was going to be the starting running back for Texas in 2024. He tore his Achilles in spring camp. And then the other guy who was going to start, Christian Clark, I believe his name was, he got injured too.
Yeah.
So it was down to Contravian Wisner, Trey Wisner, and Jaydon Blue. But Jaydon Blue was like 2 healthy tendons away from being the running back 4 on Texas.
But still, like I care about that to a degree, right? But
no, I don't. What's past is prologue, JJ. It doesn't matter. We are at a point where Jaydon Blue is basically the only even average athlete in the Cowboys backfield. Like even NFL average.
I honestly think, and I mean, maybe this is, I mean, I guess on this program, it won't be a hot take, but I honestly think that Dallas can deploy him the way that Detroit has deployed Jahmyr Gibbs.
Why wouldn't they? It's just like it's the most it's so obvious. Like maybe he sucks and maybe he's too small and we're drafting Deuce Vaughn. I think it's pretty unlikely based on how he is.
Dude, he still has like 30 pounds on Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, I was gonna say he is literally 30 pounds heavier. But it's like, I don't know, man. If the situation is so dire that the slappies are like, dude, I can't wait to take Miles Sanders in the 15th round. I think I'm cool taking the 21-year-old who ran a 4.28 from the University of Texas.
Yeah, I haven't on DK, but I think in the
you want to take Wan'Dale to set up Dart here, or a tight end, or like Gesicki.
It's up to you.
Let's do.
I haven't taken, I don't think, like any Wan'Dale
on full PPR DraftKings.com.
Still haven't done it.
Oh, okay.
So you call me because Romeo Doubs goes right around him. I'd rather have Romeo Doubs straight up than Wan'Dale.
I mean, they're like Romeo Doubs is going to have 2 receptions for 16 yards and 2 touchdowns in a ceiling week. Wan'Dale ceiling week is 11 receptions, 44 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Remember what Romeo Doubs did in the playoffs a couple years ago?
He had a 4 for 80 and 2 game last year.
Dominated. Yeah, I don't think he's as bad as people. Like he's fine. Wan'Dale Robinson. He's fine. I loved Wan'Dale as a pro. Like I thought he was fun. Right, he's a very fun prospect. But like it's the same thing when people are like, yo, what if Josh Downs plays the Wan'Dale Robinson role? And I'm like, I don't want the Wan'Dale Robinson
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. One other thing we could do is we could take Darnold here and avoid like the Dart Shuck grouping. But I don't really care. Whatever
we
you
also
want to do here is fine.
Can push and go and see if we get like Daniel Jones or something because we have Pittman.
Do you want to do Pat Bryant? Do you want to do Will Shipley?
I'm not a big Shipley dude.
Samson?
I'd go Bryant.
Oh, you're too late. That was on me. That was, I'm learning a new interface. I am also becoming a best ball bro in a different way. Well, just my fingers are not as nimble. The interface.
My thing with
interface is not as native.
I don't think Shipley is a bell cow.
Well, no, he's like.
But I don't think
he's like a short white guy.
AJ Dillon's gonna get work if Saquon goes down.
Yeah. Oh, AJ Dillon's probably gonna get work even if Saquon doesn't go down.
It's gonna be
How mad are the right wing slappies going to be when it's the first and goal possession of the year for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Barkley runs to the sideline, and AJ Dillon tractors his way into the backfield, and they effectively run the tush push with AJ Dillon?
Man, there will be a faction of people that'll be very excited.
There'll be, not going to point any fingers, but there certainly is a group of people, probably all of them watching this YouTube channel, who are like, I told you he was a bad pick. And then there's a whole other part of the internet that I don't have anything to do with that'd be like, this is the greatest miscarriage of justice in human society. I've never been more annoyed by anything than AJ Dillon getting 1 yard touchdown.
I played in a fantasy league with AJ Dillon 1 year, and I won it. So I have that over him. He's got the quads. I got the ring.
I will never forget that quads photo.
Yeah.
Truly a legendary, truly legendary. So, I mean, I think Shipley is pretty good, because on the converse of AJ Dillon will get some work, I actually don't really disagree with that statement. But AJ Dillon is not capable of. What do you think AJ Dillon's max capability of touches in a game is these days? 8, maybe.
If we're being totally realistic, 12.
12. Yeah.
12.
So it's like if Barkley does miss time, you've at least got some guaranteed touches.
My thing though, it's hard, as being guests on shows, and you're not the one controlling the board and stuff, it's harder to see the visually and stuff. And like in that instance at the 15-3, if we felt like we needed some sort of floor piece or ceiling, sure, the ceiling piece is probably more Shipley, but this is what I'm saying with a Justice Hill type. He goes in the
you're right. You're right.
Goes in the 16th when you're gonna get a negative game script environment at times for Baltimore. It's not like they're gonna be in these insanely good game scripts all the time, and we know that's where say what you want about Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell is still not going to be that guy for them. It's going to be Justice Hill in those negative scripts. I've also been drafting a lot of Marshawn Lloyd. And you think that's a terrible idea?
I just Marshawn Lloyd's NFL career really feels like Final Destination to me. How many guys come back from having a knee injury, an ankle injury, a wrist injury, and appendicitis?
It's true.
I don't know.
It's true. Man. But I also think that they took him. Part of it is that I've been drafting a lot of Green Bay, and so he's just an easy additive to the stack. Because I think Green Bay is going to throw a lot more than they did last year. So I'm in on where they get drafted, especially in best ball, where you don't have to predict and set the lineup for these guys. It's a lot easier for me to get Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden and Romeo Doubs, like I said, and Tucker Kraft. But Lloyd, look at that, Sam Darnold's still there.
That is
Daniel Jones
very uncommon for DraftKings. Do you want? I think we should take Daniel Jones though, right?
Yeah, because we have Pittman. Yeah.
Yep. And then start thinking about running backs you like as our 6th running back, and tight ends you like as our 3rd tight end.
Yeah. What team? So okay, what teams are we gonna need?
We have Indianapolis. We have Jacksonville. We have Chicago, San Francisco, but there's not really a running back there. Carolina, if you like, I think Rico's already gone.
Rico's gone. I think that you could still throw a 20th round dart at ETN too.
I'm not even kidding you. We literally had a 30-minute discussion about Trevor Etienne on Chip Chasing 2 weeks ago.
What'd you guys say?
We didn't get anywhere. Okay. Actually, just give me a wide receiver you like here. Literally anyone.
Diami, Thornton, or Keenan. One of the top 3. I'm fine with.
You know what? Let's do reverse of Live a Little, and let's take Keenan Allen, because
he's gonna sign, right?
Who he's gonna sign, or it's a stone 0, and we have souped up. Michael Pittman Jr. is our wide receiver 6. So either that pick was going to be a 0 anyways, or Keenan Allen is going to go up 5 rounds in ADP.
I'm at 20% Keenan Allen right now, and I'm getting a little nervous about it. Look at that. The other 2 went right after.
It's just it's you and I are recording this on July 11th. This video is not going to be out till later, but it is getting later and later.
Yeah, I think you know where I think he's going to go. Where do you think he's going to land? Because here's the thing, a guy like Keenan Allen, The only instance I can think of this where like the guy actually did ride off in the sunset was Will Fuller, where like
Yep.
no one knows what happened to Will Fuller. I don't think that's really happening with Keenan Allen. Number one, like no one said anything like that. But number two, I don't think he was like so egregiously bad last year. And he's the kind of wide
No,
receiver,
he was good.
like an Anquan Bolden type that can just kind of play for a while because he's never been a separation guy. And so I think do you have a team? Do you have a spot where you think he's going to go? I think there's a clear spot where he's going to go.
I mean, based on what he said, he only wants to play for the Bears or the 2 LA teams.
Is that what he said?
He said that, and Hayden Winks, used to be a Chargers intern, and I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, Keenan is like a big family guy. Like, he's made enough money in his career. Like, if he has to go be away from his family to go play in the cold with Justin Fields and the Jets, like, that is just a non-starter.
See, I think Pittsburgh's the team.
I think I want to say someone maybe even told me he outright said, I don't want to play for Pittsburgh.
I mean, I don't blame him if he's saying that, but it seems like the most obvious fit, especially with what Pittsburgh's going after with this geriatric compete and
no, I mean it's the most obvious. Like, they have a desperate need for like a good zone beating slot guy.
Yeah, and they're but I still think that's a possibility here. But yeah, I mean maybe Hayden's got that inside info and he's more, just doing.
I mean, it can't be that inside because he said it on a free live stream. But I think that basically, like, if he was gonna sign, like, dude, like J.K. Dobbins signed, like there are no other. It's him and Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper probably is just gonna ride off in the sunset. Like, it's probably over.
My thing though, when Keenan Allen signs, he's up in the 14th round from the 7th.
He is an immediate riser.
Right.
All right, we have a 3-5-7-2
flexibility. We probably need running back.
We should probably take a tight end here because I just don't want to take Dalton Schultz. So I think we should take.
I think you can wait on. Because like I'll get like Higbee or Noah Gray or something like that in the last final 2 and feel fine about it. I'd go running back more than likely. Whatever we need. Bill. Oh, you can go with Kyle Monogai. And get the
bang.
Get the Bears going.
That's probably the first time I've drafted Kyle Monogai.
Dude, I hated him as a prospect, but I'm drafting him because with the extra 2 rounds, it's easier to take that on. But also, like, I've gotten a ton of Roshan. Haven't drafted as much Swift as I probably should, but
he got pricey, dude.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. Whenever I do modeling for like late round stuff, you just see a lot more wackiness with like late round hits. There's not as much like stability with like what's predictive and not.
AD Mitchell or Diontae Johnson?
AD Mitchell. Plus we got to go AD Mitchell. We have
Jones.
Colts.
Yeah. I like low key like have been taking Diontae Johnson.
Have you? I've taken him a little bit though.
It's like, I'm entering in all these I do a lot of slows on DraftKings. And I just get there and I have my rankings in and I've got him ranked. I have him ranked like 230th or whatever. And a lot of the times
he's probably going to be their starting slot.
It's probably going to be their starting slot. And did he refuse to play because the game was too cold last year? He did. That is true.
Is he playing in arguably the coldest weather?
Is he playing in Cleveland? He is, but there was like a 4-game stretch last year where you were like, oh well, if I didn't take enough Diontae Johnson, like I'm not gonna win.
Yeah, because he's good. Like this is the classic case of just like, are you gonna try? That's it. Like if he tries and gets together between the ears, he's a good player. But yeah,
he might not be anymore, right? I mean, what is he's 29 now? I mean, he might not be good anymore.
Yeah, maybe not.
But I think he's like, again, honestly, I don't even think it's that dissimilar. He is 29 now. I don't think it is that dissimilar actually from taking Keenan, where it's like he's probably a 0, but unlike Ray McLeod or Luke McCaffrey or Jalen Tolbert or Darius Slayton or Tyler Lockett, like huge win scenarios for those guys are not possible. They are
Yeah, right,
probably small loss, small win players.
right.
Diontae Johnson is 70% of the time he never scores points for me.
Right.
But 5% of the time, like Diontae Johnson could actually finish as the wide receiver 21 in PPR scoring.
I didn't even know people were drafting Luke McCaffrey.
Uh,
Are you drafting
people
Luke
will say,
McCaffrey? Are you drafting him?
no.
You gave me a look like I just called you out.
I was drafting Luke McCaffrey last year. When they tried to run a trick play for Luke McCaffrey in week 1 last year. They ran they did the Jaden Daniels pitches it to him and he pulls the ball back, but then he just, he ran out of bounds or whatever because he was going to throw a pick. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, Luke McCaffrey is going to be the guy you need this year. And obviously he very much was not.
Turns out converted quarterbacks who people are excited about because of a family lineage aren't the best players to get. You know who one of my highest roster players is? He's someone who just got drafted, Devon Vele.
Oh, that actually makes me sick. It like actually
we did this. We talked about this on the Swolecast. Remember?
We did. It just, for whatever reason, there are some players that like people like on you, like you have this experience because you do live streams. Like there'll be people who like are not part of like your core. Like they're not always there. They come in, they come out.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, people just like would always bring up Devon Vele in my streams. And I'd be like, guys, he's 90. Like enough already.
Buddy, beats are talking up Vele. He's going to be a staple in their offense. He last year outperformed Troy Franklin, who was Pete's random sleeper at wide receiver. I like Pat Bryant. I think that like you could throw any dart that you want at the wide receiver group because this is the kind of wide receiver room that you would want to throw darts at, right? But Vele could just be the slot guy for them, period. Like he was last year for a lot of the season. And that's an attractive situation for a 20th round.
Choose your tight end.
Higbee.
He might be gone.
No, he's still there. I see him right there.
Okay. That just really shows the difference between you and I because I was so ready to take Oronde Gadsden there.
Yeah, you gotta get I mean,
like anytime you can draft the tight end 3 on the Los
Angeles. What are the odds that? Because I've brought this up with Kitchen before. Like, this is probably the hardest part of best ball for me as I've like been max entering and doing more and more drafts over the last couple of years. The hardest thing for me is like balancing that like 0 versus the floor of, like, and thinking that the floor has no ceiling. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like Tyler Higbee, to me, more than likely keeps that job for this year. More than likely, right? And if that happens, of course, Terrence Ferguson has more upside than Tyler Higbee does, more than likely, in a scenario where he would be the starting tight end. But I just don't know if that's going to happen. So I've just gone after, like last year, I probably was going after the Terrence Ferguson types more. This year, I've kind of reverted back to saying like, hey, I'm in desperation mode in the 20th round. I'm getting Tyler Conklin instead of Oronde Gadsden or Tyler Higbee. Conklin's probably a bad example because I'm probably at like 2%, but like Tyler Higbee, I'm probably at like 10 or 11% right now because it feels like he's going to be the dude, right? Like, is that the approach that you take, or are you just like, no, just give me Terrence Ferguson because there's way more upside?
In that specific spot, like it being tight end, I actually think there's like so much more value in having a floor because a bunch of people are just going to actually be rolling out zeros, like functional zeros and actual zeros, like Oronde Gadsden, probably just a 0. But like even like Will Dissly is probably a functional 0. Tyler Higbee, like at some week on DraftKings, is going to be priced at 3,300 and is going to be the optimal cash game tight end. Like everyone will be.
You know what I've done? People who play DFS, because I stopped playing DFS a couple years ago. I'm just done. But the people who play DFS seem to think, like I think in terms of season long all the time because that's my bread and butter. Mm-hmm. And people who play DFS think in terms of DFS often with best ball, where they're like, oh, he's good. Like Justin Fields is a good example of this, right? Where Fields will be QB9, QB10, whatever in these drafts. But then someone in chat today, when I was doing my draft, they were like, Fields is going to be priced as QB6 every week in
week.
DFS, right?
Yep.
And it's an interesting way to kind of like frame the guys that you're drafting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like not like Leone has done a lot of studies about this stuff, and like zeros are like actually horrible. Like,
right.
just like having inactive guys who can't contribute to your roster, like it's just
but then
your EV.
But it's the weighing. It's the weighing of
it's the weighing of it.
Because you're thinking to yourself like, okay, end of season stuff. Maybe they do roll out Terrence Ferguson a lot more, But at the same time, it's just so much more out of your control at that, like, because we're drafting in July,
Yeah. Okay. This is our team, JJ. We drafted Jefferson in the first, Bucky in the second, Trey McBride in the third, DJ Moore, Tet McMillan, Chris Olave, Ricky Pearsall. Big mistake there. Should have been Godwin. And then a panic mistake here. Although, honestly, in the end, it didn't end up being that bad.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
It worked out. It ended up being fine. This was the mistake. I would take this one back because then we could have gone Pearsall, or we could have gone Godwin, Baker, Caleb, and we wouldn't have had to have taken McCarthy, but we did Caleb, Spears, McCarthy, Tootin, and Garendo. That is a nice turn. That's the rug that ties the room together.
Yeah.
Getting those two right there. Mike Gesicki, Will Shipley, Daniel Jones, Keenan Allen, Kyle Monogai, A.D. Mitchell, Tyler Higbee. I think this is a strong
it's not bad.
B+. Yeah, I think it's a pretty strong.
Not that bad. I was kind of nervous because I kind of was not aware of what was going on whenever you took Gesicki and Shipley. That was like the one area where I had no idea we were on the clock, but it still came together fine.
It came together. Sometimes as the host, sometimes you just got to, it's tough when you're hosting. Sometimes you got to let the conversation flow and make an executive decision. I made an executive decision, and I'm fine with it, even if Will Shipley is going to get out quadded by AJ Dillon. Everyone, make sure that you guys are checking out JJ's awesome YouTube channel, Late Round on YouTube. Make sure that you guys are purchasing the draft guide, $20. David Kitchen did awesome work on all the Pantones, and I guess some of JJ's stuff is in it as well. Thank you to our partners at DraftKings. You guys can sign up using code Mattek right now. The link below will get you guys there, and I'll be back with all you guys with another DraftKings best ball video tomorrow.